The fact is, family, storms are often part of God's plan. And in today's narrative that we find here in Mark chapter 4, the storm did rise. It's in Mark chapter 4, in verse 37, it says that a furious squall came up or rose up, and the waves broke over the boat so that it was nearly swamped. Now, this was no ordinary storm. The experienced sailors were worried. Remember, these are fishermen. They're used to the storms coming up as they go out at night often to fish. But something's different about this storm, and they get worried. They are scared. They are afraid. There's big waves on this little lake that I explained was only 7 miles by 5 miles. And they were going from the west side to the east side. And in the midst of this storm that has shaken them, Jesus is asleep in the stern. Verse 38 says that Jesus is in the stern and he's sleeping on a cushion or a pillow. And the disciples, I must be thinking, how can Jesus sleep in this little boat while it's bouncing on the waves in the midst of this great windstorm? And some things are revealed to us to understand just who Jesus is. He's tired, and so we see his humanity. And soon we'll see his divinity when he speaks to the storm. He's fully human, and so he's been putting in some pretty long hours, and he's exhausted. And remember, we're talking about faith here. Jesus, as a man yet divine, knows full well where his faith lies. Jesus is asleep in the storm, and his sleeping in the storm is a sign of complete trust in God. You don't believe me? Just look at the Psalms. Psalms 3, 5, and 6 tells us that David says, I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear through tens of thousands assail me on every side. Still don't believe me? Ask David in Psalm 4 and 8. He says, in peace, I will lie down and go to sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Those who fully trust in God, family, they sleep well at night. When you know God got everything together, there's nothing I can do. And so if I put my faith and trust in the God that I believe that can calm the storm, I'm going to sleep at night. See, we actually let people off even when they come to join, when they give their life to Christ. We don't put them up on Front Street too much. Do you know who Jesus is? And the Sunday school answer is, well, the Son of God. He died on the cross, and on the third day he rose again, and that's pretty much but the elementary Sunday school understanding is, and when I say Sunday school, I mean the Sunday school with the babies in the back. By the time we get out here with the adults, we ought to have a different understanding of who Jesus is. You understand that Sunday school Jesus, that what my friend Leslie Carroll Taylor would say, second grade Jesus, you need to have moved beyond second grade Jesus when you don't know how that bill gonna get paid the next day. When your children acting up, second grade, you need to have moved past and beyond second grade Jesus. When you lost a family member, second grade, you need wind calming, storm shutting Jesus. That's the Jesus we need. That's the Jesus that you know, not the Jesus that you heard of. And finally, the last thing that the disciples failed to understand about Jesus, and that we often overlook in this story, is the promise that Jesus makes to them before they even get in the boat. Look again at verse 35 of our text. See, that day when evening came, he said to his disciples, let us go over to the other side. Before they get into the boat, Jesus has already told them where they're going. He's already prophesied that they're making it to the other side. And I need us to understand that, do we have enough faith in him that when he tells us and makes a promise to us, that he's faithful enough to keep his promise? If Jesus makes a promise, you can count on him to get you to the other side, no matter what storm rises up in your life on the way. If Jesus promised it, Jesus will get you to the other side. How many of you believe that he will get you to the other side?